Hello, my name is Sahil Sharma. I am assistant professor in Thapar University, Patiala in the computer science department. I have more than 4 years of teaching experience in different programming languages, including Python, C, C++, R programming, and many others. This series on end-to-end Python for data science is brought to you by Newton School's Launchpad program. Newton School is an edtech platform which gives the training to the students to get placed. So they have tie-up with more than 300 companies all over India, and they give more than 6 months of training in full stack development course. Whenever the student is placed in more than 5 lakh of package, then only they charge the price of their course. Otherwise, this training with Newton School is free of cost for everyone. This course, End-to-End Python for Data Science, is intended for all the students who are pursuing their bachelor degree, pursuing their master's degree, and also even for PhD students, whoever is targeting the data science domain. This is a basic course. So we are learning the basics of Python, NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn and Matplotlib visualization libraries, even the EDA part. Then we will also be implementing 2 capstone projects at the end of this course. So I hope that you have seen the previous videos of this course in which I have covered the basics of Python as well as the data structure in Python. This video is intended for discussing the date and time in Python. The target is to be able to solve the date and time problem. Let's say that you want to count the number of days left from today till your birthday. Or maybe you want to count the months. Let's say that how many months are left for you to complete your bachelor degree from current date. So you will be able to handle these kind of problems easily after watching this video. Let's move to the coding part now. So you can see here that I have written the heading as date, time and time zones in Python. Let's begin with the date. We will be manipulating date to get our job done. So let's import the library. The library is import date time. Now once the library is imported, we want to print the date, whatever date we are writing here. So it's on you that which date you want to put here, right? So let's put this as 26th of January 2021. Let's print the date and it will be printed in this format of year, month and day. Notice that we had only given here 1, not 01 as the input. You have to take care of this while giving the date. And during printing, it will automatically take care of that 0, which was not given here. Okay, let's move on. Let's say that now you want to print today's date. So at the time of this video's recording, the date is 26th of May 2021. So we know now the today date as well as the user given date, which is 26th January 2021. Now if you want to print particularly only year or a month or a day out of the today's current date, so you can print it by using today.year, today.month or today.day. If you print this, you will find the answer as 2021, 5 and 26 respectively. I hope this is clear. It is very easy to understand. Now let's print the weekday. Now there are 2 ways. So if I write today.weekday, it will return me Monday to Sunday, whichever day is today. Based on that, it will be giving me some number. And if I use ISO weekday, it will return me with Monday as 1 and Sunday as 7. So today is Wednesday. So weekday is 2 in case of .weekday function and 3 in case of ISO weekday function. So remember this thing, that when you are using weekday function, you are printing the numbers in the range of 0 to 6, where 0 is a Monday and Sunday is 6. Similarly, if you're using ISO weekday, then Monday is 1 and Sunday is 7. So accordingly, the weekday will be printed. Now, if you want to find which date it will be before or after few days, there is a function called time delta. Within the library of date time, there is this function called time delta in which you can give number of days. Now you can subtract or add those number of days based on this variable t delta, which we have saved as time delta function of 10 days. So if I reduce 10 days from today's date, it will be 16th of May. And if I add 10 days in today's date, it will be 5th of June. So let's print it. So you can see that the results are showing that 16th of May was the day 10 days before today, and after 10 days the date will be 5th of June, right? Okay, now let's say that you have a small brother who is having summer vacation, and you want to tell him that how many days are left for his vacation to end. And let's assume that the last holiday is on 30th of June 2021. So we have the today's date. What you have to do is, first you have to write the last holiday date here using this function datetime.date. So this is the user defined date which we are inputting. Let's say that we assume that the last holiday is on 30th of June. So we already had the today's date. So number of holidays left will be last holiday minus today. And if you print only holidays left here, let's put the print line here. Now if I print here holidays left only versus I put dot days versus I put total seconds, so these three outputs will be given to me. So here holidays left is 35 days, but along with that time is also given. So we do not need time, full 35 days are there, so we want to focus only on days. So 35 days is the number that 35 holidays are left for your younger brother, for whom you were calculating the number of days left for his holidays. And also if you want to print the total number of seconds available to him, you can print it by using this dot total seconds function. So this is how we can print the number of days between some fixed date and a target date. Okay, now let's move on to time. We have already discussed date. Now let's discuss time now. So within the same library there is other function called dot time, in which we give four values. This is number of hours, this is number of minutes, then seconds, and this is microseconds. So let's print the time, which I have put as 10, 30, 20 and 1000. So notice that there is this 001000. It means because it was microsecond, so 0 to 6 times 9 are total microseconds available within 1 second, right? So accordingly 1000 microseconds are being used here. So notice that the time which was given by me is printed like this, and because it was microseconds, it is showing as the first four dates as 1000 and the fifth and sixth place is 0. Now if I want to get exact hour, minute, second or microsecond, this is the way to do it. I have to simply do today.hour, today.minute, today.second and today.microsecond. So using these dot hour, dot minute, dot second and dot microsecond, you can fetch the values out of the time. I hope it is very simple for you now. You can parallelly implement these things while watching this video. It will be helpful for you. Okay, let's move on. Now I want to combine this date and time. So till now I was implementing time and date as two different things. Now I have combined this as datetime.datetime function. This datetime function will have total of 7 components, in which first 3 are year, month and day, and the last 4 are hour, minute, second and microsecond. Now if I have put these values, these are my values which I have put it as user value. If I print this, I will get all of these things printed together. Now if I want to fetch a particular value, again I can use this today.year.month.day.hour. All these kind of commands can be used to get these values out of it. So all of these values are printed one by one. Now moving on to this. Now again I want to check how does this time delta affect my today date time. So using this date time dot time delta days equal to 10, I am adding 10 days in the today value, which was these 7 values, right? If I add 10 days into this, what will happen? Let's print. So you can see that if I am adding 10 days into this, the value is 10th of May 2021. So the initial value was 30th of April, and if I add 10 days into it, it will be exact 10th of May, and time is remaining same because we are not changing time, we are only adding number of days. If I want to add number of hours instead of days, what I have to do is I have to write hours equal to 20 or maybe any other number, right? The way we were writing days, we can write hours, and even we can write minutes, seconds, microseconds, anything we want to write. So after adding 20 hours into the exact time and date, which was in today, this is what is being printed. So this is the initial date time, this is the final date time after adding 20 hours into it. So time was 10:30 of the morning, and if you add 20 hours into it, it is next day's 6:30 a.m. There is this method called dot today, dot now, and dot utc now. If you print these things as date today and date now and date UTC, so it will give you same time in Google Colaboratory. Why? Because this is not my system's time and date. I will tell you the difference once I run it in my Jupyter notebook. So this is my Jupyter notebook, which I have already implemented these things. So import date time. Now I am implementing this datetime.datetime function for today. Alright, for today, the time and date was coming to be this. I ran it at this time at 9:16 p.m. So it was this time, right? And dot now function gives me again same time. It was varying in just microseconds, that too while printing this, while running this Python code. And then UTC now. UTC now means kind of GMT, right? And you will notice that there is a 5 or 30-minute difference between this UTC time and the current time. So our current time is plus 5:30 for this time UTC, right? So what is the difference between dot today and dot now if the outputs are same? So the difference lies in that using this dot now, we can eventually work with different time zones. We will be doing it in the next few lines of the collaboratory notebook. But for now, you have to see that it is for now giving same time, but obviously when the time zone changes, these things will change. UTC now is kind of a universal time, okay? So it is giving me 5 or 30 minutes before the current time. If I run this again, obviously it will give me the current time. So it is now 9:35 p.m. and exactly 5 or 30 minutes, if you subtract it, you will get 4:05 p.m. Okay, coming back to this. So I hope that you know now that why are we using this datetime.datetime.today, dot now and dot UTC now. So let's see time zones in Python. I just told you that dot now function will be used in time zone. Let's use it. So there is this library called Python time zone library. So import pytz, right? And after that, what you have to do is you have to give this value in which we are giving date, which is 26th of May 2021, the time 19:10:10. So this is a user defined time. You can write it as maybe 21:19:21, something like that, hours, minutes, and seconds. And then you have to give this time zone info as python timezone.utc. Let's use this UTC value and print the DT value. So what does it print? It is showing me the time which I was giving, and using this Python time zone library as UTC, it is giving me plus 00 colon 00. So if you want to print, let's say, the value of UTC now, so what you have to do is you have to use this function datetime.now, which I told you that will be used in time zones. So in this, you have to give this as the argument tz equal to pytz.utc, and let's print utc now. So UTC now is giving me the exact time right now according to UTC. So you have to add 5 or 30 minutes for my time zone to get the current time, which is 9:37 p.m. Right. So now let's say that you want to use this value as your time zone. So how will you do it? So I found that for my time zone, this is the way which is available for me to use. So let's say that you want to check yours. Now if you want to get all the time zones and you want to find that what is the time zone which is same as yours, what you have to do is you have to run this command pytz dot all time zones set. So if you run this, you will get lots of time zones. So depending upon your continent, you can search in this your time zone, right? So let's see where is Asia. So this is Asia, and now within this, let's say I want to use Kolkata or Delhi. So this is Delhi, it is Indonesia's place. So let's see Kolkata. Yeah, Asia Kolkata. So this is same time zone as mine. So I want to use this value. Now how to use it? So if I comment this part, if you want to confirm that this is the right way of using it, you can just search that if this Asia slash Kolkata in this set is true or false. So it is true, it is available in this set, right? So if it is available, obviously I can use it. You can use any other time zone depending upon what's yours. So I have put this as, it as dt India equal to dt underscore utc now dot as time zone pytz dot time zone as this. So this time zone can be different for you. So if I do it for myself, the value is printing to be this, obviously. So what the time is, it is 9:37:55. Okay, so I had saved dt utc now before this, right? And we printed that this was the exact time for dt utc now, but I want to convert it for my time zone. So this is how I have converted it for my time zone, right? And if I print it, the time is now plus 5:30, and it is also given that plus 5:30 has been done. Okay, now if I want to print this dt India as ISO format, it is printed as this, and it looks kind of weird, but I mean you can change this thing. How you can change? Now if you want to use this strf time function and you go to this docs.python.org library datetime.html, you will find that there are different formats through which you can print the names, right? So you can print even numbers differently as weekdays, and also the day of the month, the name of the month. So all these things can be changed according to whatever directive you use. So I want to convert this date into the format in whichever way I want. So from this directive, I have taken these three things. Percent small d. Percent small d means I will be using the numbers of day as 0102 up to 31. Percent m as month, which is equal to 0102 up to 12. And percent capital Y as the year. So percent capital Y will give me 4-digit year. Okay, so the date will be printed as 26.05.2021. Now this is the date which I have printed by using this strf time function. Okay, initially the date was this and I have printed it as this, and it has been done using strf time function. Now let's convert it back to the original state. Let's say that I want to print it again as 2021. -05-26. So I pick this as a string. Okay, it is now a string. I have to use this strp time function in which I am passing the string along with the exact format in which it was printed. So if I decode this, I will get the final date as same as this thing, 2021-05-26 along with 000 time. Okay, let's solve this final problem statement and end the session. So let's say that you shifted in the apartment on 10th of January 2017, 4 years back. Now write a program to find total months or years you have stayed in your apartment till date. Now you have to use this date time function. How will you do it? So I have already done it for you. So it is very small program for you. So now because you have learned how this date time function works, it is a very small task for you. So I have given the start date as datetime.date 2017 110. Okay. Now today's date is this dot today function, and I am printing start date and the today date. So the start date was 2017 January 10 and current date is 2021 May 26. Now if you want to find the number of days between these two, simply you have to do a subtraction with dot days along with it. The number of days will be printed. So there are total 1597 days that have passed since 10th of January 2017 till present day. Now if you want to print the number of months, you have to simply do today's date year minus start date dot year. So it means 2021 minus 2017, which is 4, into 12, which is 48, plus the number of months difference. So the number of months will be 52. Now again, if you want to find the number of years, you can simply do the maths, that number of months divided by 12, and rounding off the value, you will get the value as 4.33. It's been 4 years and 4 months. Right? 0.33 is 4 months of a year. That's all. I hope now you are equipped enough to deal with any date and time problem in Python. Thank you for watching the video, and please subscribe to the channel for. See you in the next video.